And welcome everybody to Kansas Speedway with the Extreme Forces Racing League. My name is Josh Hall, and we're here tonight with the Extreme Forces Racing League Josh Y'all 100. And this is going to be a great race tonight here at Kansas. This is the second race of the playoffs. And let's take a look at cars out on track right now. Jimmy Green is fastest at the moment, with Josh Carver and Logan Rhodes not too far behind. Sorry for the late start tonight. We had a little technical hiccup with our timing and scoring, but we got it all fixed up, ready to rock and roll tonight. As that was not supposed to pop up on my screen, I do apologize. We got about a minute left before we get qualifying underway. Again, thanks for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting with the Extreme Forces Racing League. See Dave Wright having some issues there, going through the grass. He'll hold on to it though, great save. So tonight we'll be doing 100 laps here at Kansas, 65% fuel, 3 sets of tires in the pits. As we get ready with one more race after this before we crown a champions this season. And practice is over. We're going to get ready for qualifying. See who one of the first cars to come out on track will be here. You see Dave Wright rolling out on track currently. Getting that machine up to speed. Again, thank you everybody for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting for the Extreme Forces Racing League Josh Y'all 100 here at Kansas Speedway. This is the second race of 3 of the playoffs here tonight. Already we see Sonny Benfield, Dustin Buck, Joe Wright up to the top of the board already with a 31.66. Dave Wright running that nice conservative line. Trying to run the middle of the track here, trying to get as much speed through the corner as he can. Catches the apron just a little bit. Down to the apron down the front stretch. Try to shorten that track as much as he can. And he's going to qualify in. He's going to stay right there in the 8th position. Tyler Aspinall out on track as well. Tyler just finishing his lap. He will roll off currently 3rd. Brady Floyd just making his way to start his first of 2 laps. Again, shortening the track right down there on the apron for his first lap. Up into the third position. Oh, looks like that was his second lap, so that puts him up into third. Eddie Morris out on track right now, coming across the line for his first lap. He's going to jump up into the fourth position. See if Eddie can improve on his second lap here as he's trying to get down as close to that white line as you can. Through turns 3 and 4. Gonna sneak it right down to the apron here, across the start-finish line. And Eddie Morris will improve his time, moving up to second. True drivers yet to qualify. We've got Dean Qualley sitting on pit road, and Logan Rhodes, who has not entered pit road yet, but with about 30 seconds left. Dean will not be qualifying. Let's take a look at our points tonight coming in. We see Brady Floyd currently at the top of the points. Joe Wright 3 points back. Eddie Morris, Bryn George, and Tyler Aspinall round out your top 5. You see how the points were reset as the playoffs started here. A couple drivers did not show up last week, so we'll figure they'll be all but eliminated moving forward. So we are now ready to grid. We'll take a look at our starting grid tonight. And start on pole, the 75 of Stony Benfield with Eddie Morris in the 8 to his outside. Row 2, you'll see Joe Wright in the 82, followed by Brady Floyd in the 20 machine. Rolling off 5th is the 45 of Tyler Aspinall with Austin Blaylock rolling off in 6th. In 7th, Dustin Buck and Rob Hamilton in the 8th spot. 9th, you'll find Jimmy Green, and rounding out your 5th row, Josh Carver. Then in 11th, you have Mike Rentz in the 91, followed by Dave Wright to his outside in 12th. 13th is Dean Qualley in the 17, and 14th will be Logan Rhodes in the 14 machine. We're waiting for the cars to grid up, and you'll see some different colors on the 82 here tonight. So he's running a commemorative paint job aimed at yours truly, all in fun. See if we can take a look at that car real quick, see what he's got going on here. And the other two cameras were kind of blurry, but yeah, this is the car that Joe's running tonight. The Josh Yall machine, the Closet Canadian, me sitting on a Caribou. For all the guys that run with me and Joe in the SCSRA, they'll know what it's all about, but having a little fun. That's what it's all about here, having a little bit of fun. As the cars roll out on field, we get ready to go green flag racing here with Stony Benfield leading them down to the starting zone. Eddie Morris on that high side, and we know that the high side here at Kansas can be a very good place to be, especially on restarts. Sometimes that carrying that momentum on the high side through the corner definitely gets you propelled forward. We'll have to see if Eddie's able to take advantage of that here on the start as the pace car takes the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Field works their way down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Kansas Speedway. And a pretty even jump so far for our front row in the entire field as Joe Wright's already trying to take a look down to the inside. He's going to push Stoney Benfield into turn number 1. Eddie Moore's actually stuck on that high side, having a bad jump. He's falling backwards. I don't know if he missed a shift, as we got one around on the backstretch, 2 around on the backstretch. That looks like Josh Carver and Rob Hamilton, as that is going to bring out our first caution of the night and our first wreckage rewind. As we take a look to see what happened here with the 5 of Rob Hamilton and the 3 of Josh Carver. So we pick up the action here. We see Carver down on the bottom, Hamilton running that higher lane. And you already see the back end stepping around on the 5. He's trying to correct it, comes right down into the 3. Carver hits the apron. Here comes Hamilton back down into the 3 again. And everybody behind him does a good job checking up. Turns the 5 right around in front of the field. So I imagine Josh Carver, Josh Carver, Jimmy Green, Rob Hamilton all coming down pit road to get some repairs done here. We'll have to see if Josh Carver uses his reset here. Carver does not use his reset. Looks like he's just going to try to get it fixed up. Rob Hamilton does use his reset, so he will be without a reset moving forward. But Joshua Carver saving that reset for later on in the race. You see Carver down and away. Sorry, Hamilton down and away. Josh Carver is still sitting on pit road as the field works their way into turn number 3. Come across the line this time. The lights on the pace car are going to shut off. Stoney Benfield's going to teak that bottom line again. Going to put Joe up on the high side this time. See Joe disappearing. Joe having a little bit of a connection issue here tonight. Now he's back. He's gone again. See if Eddie can get a little better jump here on this restart than he did last time. Lost a ton of positions on the start. Able to drive his way back up the 4th, though. But still a long race here at Kansas. Now the pace car gets ready, takes that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Stoney Benfield immediately back to the gas. Green flag is back in the air. And we are back racing as Tyler Aspinall gets a great jump. He's to the inside of Joe Wright as they work their way into turn number 1. Looks like Aspinall's going to make it stick down there. trying to get around Joe as they come down the backstretch. Stoney Benfield, though, out in front, continue to lead here. Aspinall's now starting to fall back just a little bit. Oh, looks like that was Dustin Duck in the 68, gets loose, able to hold on to it. They scatter behind. See Dave Wright starting to come up through the field. Dave Wright already up into the 7th position. Continue to move himself forward, along with Mike Rentz right behind him. Dave Wright already up 5 positions from where he started. See Aspinall down on the bottom, getting pinched down there. Losing a couple more positions here as they work their way down the backstretch. Eddie Morris trying to get back up towards the front. Brady Floyd currently up into the 3rd position. Trying to run down Joe Wright and Stoney Benfield. Right now, Stoney Benfield out in front. And starting to pull away from Joe just a little bit. But we know Joe is the king of the 1.5 miles and the intermediate tracks this season. And here he is looking down to the inside of Stoney Benfield. Trying to take the lead away. Here's Eddie Morris all the way down on the apron to try to take 3rd place away from Brady Floyd as Joe right now clears Stoney Benfield. Here comes Eddie looking to the inside of Stoney. And behind him, they are side by side in the back. Dave Wright looking 3 wide. Now he's going to cut back down to 2. Stoney Benfield way up the track. They are 3 wide coming off the corner. The 25 of Jimmy Green all the way on the bottom. Stoney Benfield to the top. We saw Brady Floyd and Dave Wright stuck in the middle. Now they continue to move forward. As Eddie Morris is now battling for that 2nd position. But Austin Blaylock right there in the mix as well. So move Austin Blaylock up to 2nd now as he's battling with Eddie Morris. And he's going to clear Eddie here. A little slide job coming off of turn number 4. But he's going to fight back hard on that high side. We see the momentum that high side can get, especially off of turn number 4. Whether it's side by side, that's exactly what Joe wants to see in his mirror. As Dave Wright's trying to get a little bit of a side draft off of Brady Floyd. And here comes Buck, Dustin Buck down on the bottom side drafted right just a little bit. Allow Brady Floyd to pull away by just a little here. So they continue to race side by side. Austin Blaylock now solidly in the 2nd position, but getting a little bit of pressure now from behind by both Eddie Morris and Jimmy Green. We ride along with Austin Blaylock here. Takes a little bit of a defensive line into the corner. Here comes Jimmy Green, though, right there onto the back bumper, trying to get the strong run off the corner. Enter in the corner just a little bit lower, trying to break the momentum of the 25. And while that's going on, here comes Buck into the picture as well. Buck with a little side draft. The field has caught Joe right now. Austin Blaylock underneath Joe, trying to take the lead away. And now Austin Blaylock to the lead. And again, I do apologize for the glitches on the screen and the timing and scoring going away for a moment. The scoring program that we use is having a little bit of an issue. So I do apologize for the technical difficulties with this timing and scoring. My screen going blank there, or popping off, but looks like we got everything back where it should be. As Mike Rentz hanging back in the back of the field right now, kind of playing it safe. Joe Wright has fallen all the way back to 4th place, and he's still under pressure as Eddie Morris and Jimmy Green try to take those positions away from Joe. We see Dinquali back in 9th position, slowly working his way up through the field. As Austin Blaylock continues the lead here. Great side-by-side racing between Jimmy Green and Brady Floyd. Floyd's going to get that position though. The field starts to get a little more single file now as the tires are starting to wear off. Cars aren't handling quite where they were before. And we are coming up to the stage at lap number 20. Dustin Buck now trying to take the lead away from Austin Blaylock. He's going to do it here. Eddie Moore's going to follow right on through as well, trying to throw a slider on Blaylock like Blaylock threw on him. Austin fights hard back on that high side. And Joe right now coming back into the picture, getting around Brady Floyd. Move Joe back up into the 4th position. As Eddie Morris is trying to take that 2nd place away from Austin Blaylock. Just behind Sodium Benfield, moving his way back forward. Our pole sitter fell back quite a bit now. Now he's currently back in the 6th position, trying to move himself back forward. As Eddie Morris and Joe Wright are now side by side. Austin Blaylock trying to get that lead back away from Dustin Buck. Eddie trying to get the lead from the 2nd row back as well. He was just looking underneath Austin, but was not able to keep the momentum up, to keep that moving forward. Now it looks like that high lane is going to have the momentum as Dustin Buck is going to pull solidly into the lead. Here comes Brady Floyd with a little side draft, trying to make it 3 wide there coming off the corner. Has to back out of it, tucks in behind Joe, trying to push Joe forward. Move Joe right up into the 2nd spot with Brady Floyd coming along in 3rd. Austin Blaylock, though, pinched down on the bottom. We're starting to see the tires really wear out, and that bottom lane not being where you want to be. It looks like that high lane is starting to be the preferred line. As it's not pinching down, you're not losing the momentum off the corner as, Eddie Morris got real loose, pushed up, almost got into the side of Brady Floyd, was able to hold on to it. But he's going to lose a ton of positions here as Austin Blaylock and Brady Floyd continue to battle side by side. Now we got a battle up at the front back for the lead as Joe Wright was just looking but was not able to pull alongside. Can he do anything here off of turn number 2 as he's going to look up to the high side. Now he's going to look back down low. He's going to pull up low. Oh, some contact. Those two go spinning through and Buck back up on track. Oh, he gets piled up on his roof. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind, and that looked like a ton of net code between the 82 and the 68 as we'll take a look at this and break it down just a little bit. See if we can get a better view of what happened here. We'll take a look here from Joe's point of view here from a chopper view. And you can see that Joe does come up just a little bit, but yeah, that's a lot of net code right there, unfortunately. Not much that either driver could do. We can see it here, see if they'll allow it to see from a different view here. Joe comes up the track, but they never actually make contact. They both go sliding through the infield there, and then the 68 of Dustin Buck just gets hammered by, I believe, this Tyler Aspinall here as the 68 goes sliding back across the track. He's got the wheels locked up, and Aspinall just nowheres to go. Fortunately, the 68 lands back on its wheels. He's able to continue on and get back to the pits. But a tough break as the entire field comes down pit road. Austin Blaylock, the first car off pit road. Looks like he may have taken fuel only. A couple drivers taking fuel only, possibly just 2 tires for Austin and Mike Rentz. Eddie Morris definitely taking 4. The rest of the field taking 4 and some repairs. Blaylock's going to get back out in the lead, followed by Eddie Morris in second. Mike Rentz comes off of pit road in third. Then Jimmy Green, Dean Qualley, Tyler Aspinall back out on track after using his reset. Joshua Carver sitting back in 7th. Rob Hamilton in 8th. Brady Floyd's going to fall back to 9th. And then we still have David Wright, Stoney Benfield, Joe Wright, and Dustin Buck on pit road. Actually, Dave Wright just coming off pit road now. He's got some damage to the right side of that car. Stoney Benfield coming off pit road now as well. Joe Wright. A little bit of damage still to the nose of that machine. But Austin Blaylock continues to lead here. So Austin taking some time away from iRacing, but coming back strong. As the lights are off on the pace car, we're going to be going back green flag racing this time. Austin Blaylock's going to take the high line on the restart with putting Eddie Morris down on the bottom as they come down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Austin with a great jump here. Stay out in front, but you don't want to get too big of a jump, as we know these cars do draft very, very well. These intermediate tracks do run almost like a super speedway. Drafting is a big part of it. If you get out too far, the whole field can line up and swallow you up, being a single car out there. As we see Jimmy Green looking down to the inside of Eddie Morris, trying to take that second position away. And Jimmy's going to do it here. So move Jimmy Green up into the second spot on 4 fresh tires. And he's setting his sights on the 99 of Austin Blaylock. Just behind him, Josh Carver, who had some issues earlier. As we're seeing that tires are definitely making a big difference here. As Jimmy Green was able to drive right by Austin Blaylock, almost like he was going backwards, and Blaylock is in trouble. He's just sliding backwards now. So it looks like that fuel only call is not working out in his favor at the moment. Tyler Aspinall gets on by. Here comes Brady Floyd. Brady Floyd looking to take advantage and take that position away. Up front, we got Josh Carver and Jimmy Green, though. Jimmy Green currently out in the lead. Josh Carver right there following in his tire tracks. Looks like Rob Hamilton jumped onto pit road. The field works their way off of turn number 2 down the backstretch and back into turn number 3. Jimmy Green, Josh Carver just putting down some laps, running together here, doing a little drafting, a little tandem drafting, and pulling away from the rest of the field. Tyler Aspinall currently in 3rd. But not really able to gain on those two as they're running in line together. further back. We've got a battle shaping up here with Dave Wright all over the back bumper of Dean Qualley. Trying to take the 6th position away from Qualley, and Qualley trying to take 5th away from Austin Blaylock as Austin's on those Oakler tires. And again, you're really seeing the tires make a big difference here. As Blaylock's going to lose 2 positions coming off that corner and falls all the way back to 7th. You know, driver's not having a good luck now. Joe Wright falls all the way back to 10th place. And I think he had a little bit more damage on that car than he think he did. Him and Stoney Benfield are way back in the field, just hoping for a caution so they can get those cars fixed up and get back into the competition. Currently up front, though, Jimmy Green continues the lead over Josh Carver. Tyler Aspinall, though, is starting to make some headway on these two here. He's cut a 10th off those 2 cars' leads by himself, so able to use that draft to pull himself forward. Now he's just under a half a second back from these 2. And continuing to catch the field here. Behind, though, we see Brady Floyd running all by himself. Dean Qualley, though, coming up to his back bumper, trying to give him a little bit of a push here. Him and Dave Wright, see if those 3 cars can hook up here. Try to make their way back towards the front. Don't forget, Brady Floyd is your points leader, so he's just trying to survive to move on next week at Las Vegas. Jimmy Green and Joshua Carver continue to run in each other. Carver continues to run in the tire tracks of Jimmy Green, but Tyler Aspinall has caught up to these 2. Aspinall is there, but it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him. We'll have to see if Aspinall's able to do anything with him here. They work their way into turn number 1 and 2. Now Carver looking down to the inside of Jimmy Green. Not able to get the position, though. He's going to tuck back in that line, but being out of line like that caused Tyler Aspinall to close up even more. Now Aspinall is there, getting ready to try to pounce if a mistake is made by either one of those drivers. A little further back, Dean Qualley has finally caught Brady Floyd. He's looking for a way around that 20 machine. Just not able to get anything going as these 3 continue to run single file. I think at this point they're just trying to log some laps, get past halfway. We're still going to have another pit stop for these drivers. So a lot of long racing to go here. Aspinall starting to fall back just a little bit now. Maybe he's running a little bit slower, trying to save some fuel. Trying to play a little strategy game. As Dean Qualley continues to try to catch Brady Floyd to get around him for the 4th spot. Dave Wright, who was just battling with Dean Qualley a few moments ago, has fallen back just over half a second to the 17 car. You see him right there, a little ways back. Gets a little loose off the corner trying to run that higher line. And from what I've seen so far in this race, the name of the game is being able to run with people. Running by yourself is not going to be as beneficial to you as running with another car, as we see A little battle heating up here for the lead. We saw Josh Carver was just pulling up on the back bumper of Jimmy Green, but it looks like he's since fallen off. As these three cars work their way through the tri-oval to start lap 40 of 100. That incident that was between Joe Wright and the 68 of Dustin Buck was your competition caution, your stage break. Take a look from above here. The leaders are coming up on the lap car of Dustin Buck. We'll have to see if that plays into Tyler Aspinall's favor at all. It looks like we will have one race tomorrow night, which will be the Mayhem Modifieds going off at 8 p.m. SCSRA will have the bye week next week with the holiday coming up on Thursday. And from myself and everybody here at Intensity Broadcasting, we want to wish everybody a healthy, happy, safe Thanksgiving this year to you and all your family. Josh Carver was peeking down underneath Jimmy Green. Now that things are finally starting to get back to normal, it's nice to be able to see our families on the holidays. So for everybody here at Intensity, again, we wish you all a very happy, healthy Thanksgiving this year. Stoney Benfield on the pit road. First car coming to pit road for fuel and tires. Tyler Aspinall is now starting to fall back away from these two. Now they're actually starting to do a little more aggressive drafting here. As Tyler Aspinall has fallen a second off of our lead two cars. I wonder if Tyler's starting to save a little bit of fuel here. As a fuel run should be somewhere around 40 laps. So if these guys can get to about lap 60, they should be able to make it to the end on fuel. Which we did go back green flag racing on lap 24, so I think that's the number these guys are trying to reach, is somewhere around 60 to 65. So they can get in, take fuel, take tires, and not have to worry about making another stop to the end of the race. I think Stoney had to go in a little too early. I don't think he's going to be able to stretch it. But stranger things have happened here in the Extreme Forces Racing League. Drivers are coming up on some lap traffic. They've got the 68 of Dustin Buck just in front of them. Also, it looks like the 82 of Joe Wright will be getting pretty close to being a lap down. See Joe right here as he's working his way through turns 3 and 4. And the leaders are just entering turns 3 and 4, so just the corner separates the 82 from the leaders. Again, I don't think Joe just realized how much damage he had on that car. Else he probably would have went in and took the reset. As these two continue to push each other hard. Just behind them, we see Dean Qualley doing the same thing to Brady Floyd. Try to push themselves forward as well. And you got to go almost 8 seconds back to the 91 of Mike Rentz running back in 6th place. With Dave Wright, who just got passed by Stoney Benfield, who's on fresh tires. Running back in 7th, and Austin Blaylock all by himself in 8th. Eddie Morris just coming across the line now in 9th. Again, Joe Wright coming across the line. As your leaders are just coming across the line as well. So the leaders have gotten around the 68 of Dustin Buck. That's going to put Buck in the lucky dog. Actually, Stoney Benfield is currently in the lucky dog position. As Dustin Buck is, I believe, a couple laps down. Now Dustin Buck, now that he's got the drafting help from these two, you can see that the speed difference has changed as they ran him down. Now because of the draft, he's able to stay right here with these two for at least a couple laps. As Josh Carver looks back down to the inside of Jimmy Green, but tucks back in behind. Tyler Aspinall has been passed by both Brady Floyd and Dean Qualley. So move Aspinall back into the 5th position. It doesn't look like that 45 is handling well at all. Just saw him push up, almost catch the wall. Looks like he's got a little damage to the right rear of that machine. That could be hindering his progress just a little bit. We are just past halfway. Back up at the battle at the front. Josh Carver still hanging out behind 25 of Jimmy Green. Carver though now looking back to the inside, just not able to sneak his nose there. Ooh, a little contact maybe there between the 3 and the 25. As they continue to log laps here. And again, I think they're just comfortable riding in line like this until either a caution or green flag pit stops. Which I imagine green flag pit stops should be coming up within the next 5 laps or so. Again, Dustin Buck, now that he's got the drafting help, is able to keep speed with these guys right with him. That really shows the difference that running in a draft can make as opposed to running by yourself. As they are coming up on the lap car, or would be the lap car of Joe Wright. Joe Wright hits pit road So he'll be one of the first takers down on the pit road. Currently you're second in points. Let's see if he takes his reset here. Follow the pit stop along. Yeah, he's going to take his reset, get that car fixed up, get right sides put on the car, see if he takes all four, if he's just going to take two. Looks like all four going on the car. He is down and away as he's leaving pit road. We see Brady Floyd, Dean Qualley, and Tyler Aspinall all coming down on the pit road. Dean comes down to a halt. See Tyler making his way down to his pit stall. Brady Floyd already has the right sides up on the car. Getting left sides put on as we speak. And Brady Floyd is down and away. Tyler's down and away. Dean Qualley's still sitting in his box. I don't know if he might have had a speeding penalty or something coming on the pit road. Here comes Dave Wright and Austin Blaylock also on the pit road. While they're all coming on the pit road, Jimmy Green and Joshua Carver continue to stay out. As the field continues to stay a bit spread out as Green and Carver work their way towards the 8 of Eddie Morris. Morris continues to stay out, so doesn't Jimmy Green and Joshua Carver. A couple more cars leaving pit road. That's going to leave just 3 cars on the lead lap. And all 3 of them are going to be on your screen. Can Eddie Morris stay out there, though, and stay on the lead lap? Oh, we got contact made. As cars are trying to come onto pit road, Eddie Morris, Jimmy Green, Joshua Carver all come down on the pit road together. I think there was some contact between the 68 and the 3 as they were coming onto pit road. Not really sure what was going on there between those two. Going to give the lead to Brady Floyd as they come around here, unless these two can get off of pit road. Might have been a little bit of contact there between Jimmy Green and Joshua Carver coming onto the pits. That Carver didn't like the way that that happened. I think Carver might have sped on pit road as well. So he's still sitting in the pits as Jimmy Green comes up, and the yellow flag is out. It looks like Mike Rent's having some issues here. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened. Well, it didn't involve Mike Rentz at all. He was just trying to avoid it. It actually was between Dave Wright and Austin Blaylock here, as Dave was running up on the high side. Austin was looking to take advantage down the bottom. Looks like Dave almost caught the wall, snapped it to the left and got a little loose. Came down into the 99. Those two cars go hard into the outside wall. Mike Rentz sees it. He turns the wheel to avoid these two spinning cars. He's going to make an evasive move right there through the grass. Do a little four-wheeling. So that's going to change the luck of this race just a little bit. Tyler Aspinall is going to be your leader, with Jimmy Green in second. Mike Rentz, after driving through the grass, up in third. Joe Wright now comes back into the picture. He's in fourth. Stoney Benfield back to fifth. Joshua Carver, after getting the pit road penalty, in sixth. Eddie Morris is going to be in seventh. And Brady Floyd, Austin Blaylock, and Dave Wright all currently on pit road. See Brady Floyd coming off of pit road. Austin and Dave, there goes Austin, and Dave Wright just rolling off pit road as well. So as I mentioned before, anything can happen here in the Extreme Forces Racing League, and we just saw it. Bringing out a yellow to change the complexion of this race as all our lap cars, everybody comes back down pit road besides our top three. Looks like Joshua Carver's going to stay out as well, but everybody else coming back down pit road to top off to guarantee that they can make it to the end. In case we do have a green-white checker. I imagine that's exactly what we're going to see. Just some fuel only for these drivers. Joe Wright is actually taking tires. So Eddie Morris down and away. Dean Qualley down away. Joe Wright continues to get his car serviced. Now he's down and away with 4 fresh tires. As Tyler Aspinall continues to lead. Under yellow here for the third time tonight. Again, don't forget to join us tomorrow night for the Mayhem Modifieds at 8 p.m. Eastern. The SCSRA will be off. Of course, Thursday we won't have any racing here as well, nor Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So Extreme Xfinity is off this Friday for the holiday. Saturday and Sunday, their seasons have finished up. The original Rebels will return the first week of January. And we do have some special events coming up in the next couple of weeks. Our versus race, the SCSRA versus the original Rebels. It's going to be Truck Series at, I believe it's going to be at Texas now. Originally it was going to be Nashville Super Speedway, but I believe that they've moved it over to Texas this year. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here. Tyler Aspinall is going to choose the inside. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here with just over 30 laps to go. Aspinall with a great jump over Jimmy Green. Here comes Mike Rentz, though, to the inside of Josh Carver, trying to take that third position away. Austin Blaylock, after getting his damage fixed, trying to get into the picture as well. Jimmy Green now battling side by side with Tyler Aspinall. Aspinall's going to have to give that position up. And here comes Mike Rentz up into the third spot. Continue to move forward. Dean Qualley as well. Now he gets by Austin Blaylock. He's going to move himself up into the fifth position. Austin Blaylock. Rentz thought about making the move to the inside. Thought better of it, but Joshua Carver's going to take that position away with the aggressive move. As they're side by side down the front stretch and across the line. Mike Rentz now getting shuffled out of line, falling back. He's going to have to tuck in behind Austin Blaylock here. Well, looks like Austin got a little loose on that low side, lost his momentum. And Dean Qualley pulls up in front of Tyler Aspinall, also moved Dean up into the third position. With Jimmy Green and Joshua Carver still nose to tail. Field pretty much single file now. Jimmy Green, Joshua Carver starting to pull back away from the rest of the field. Here comes Tyler Aspinall getting around Austin Blaylock. So Austin now sitting back in the fifth position. Eddie Morris looking up to the high side, but not able to make the run happen, trying to get around Mike Rentz. Here comes Austin Blaylock looking down to the inside of Tyler Aspinall. Brady Floyd looking to follow Austin right on through. And I think Tyler's going to lose at least 2 positions here, as Mike Rentz in the 91 is right there as well. And he clears Aspinall as well, so Tyler losing 3 positions there down the front stretch. Now Eddie Morris trying to take another position away from Tyler. Tyler got a little loose off the corner there. You're starting to see these tires already starting to become a little greasy. As here comes Eddie Morris now looking underneath Tyler Aspinall. And Joe Wright coming back into the picture now, getting that damage fixed. Trying to move himself back towards the front. And Eddie and Joe are going to clear Tyler. Jimmy Green and Joshua Carver still with a huge lead now, almost a second over the 17 of Dean Qualley. And Brady Floyd, your points leader, trying to get around Austin Blaylock. He's going to look down to the inside of Austin here. They're going to make their way down into turns 1 and 2. He's going to make that stick. Austin's got a train of cars lined up on that low line looking to take advantage. Eddie Morris, though, jumps up to the high side here. Him and Joe Wright up on the high side trying to catch up. Oh, Blaylock gets turned. Brady Floyd, oh, we got Eddie Morris caught up in it as well. Yellow flag is out. And the 99 and the 8 crashed on the front stretch here. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. As we saw the 99 and the 20 battling side by side here. And as they're coming off the corner, we see the contact made. The actual contact made. No net code there between the 20 and the 99. And Blaylock gets turned around, cuts the wheel, trying to hold on to it. Eddie Morris hard into the outside wall. Joe Wright able to sneak through with no damage. But just unfortunate break for those two. Not much either one of them could really do. Eddie Morris coming down pit road to get that damage fixed. I don't think he's used a reset yet tonight. So we'll see if that Morris custom machine still has a reset in the bag and he's able to get that car fixed up. No, it does not look like he had a reset, so tough break for Eddie. Gonna have to sit on pit road, wait for that car to get fixed up. Joe Wright takes over the lead here, as Joe, Stoney Benfield, and Austin Blaylock all staying out. Jimmy Green, the first car off of pit road. Now it looks like Austin's going to come down pit road and get some of that damage fixed up. Again, I don't remember if Austin has a reset left in his bag, so we'll see if he's able to get that fixed up immediately or if he's going to have to wait on pit road for repairs to be done. No repairs, no reset for that 99 either, so tough break for a couple drivers now. Both Eddie Morris and Austin Blaylock, who looked like they were going to be able to make their way back up towards the front. But Blaylock getting turned off the front bumper of the 20. That's going to change the whole complexity of this race yet again. As the pace car comes across the line this time, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to refire them here at Kansas. With Joe Wright, see if he takes the inside or the outside for this restart. Looks like Joe's going to stay down on the bottom, putting Stoney Benfield up on the high side. Jimmy Green going to restart in third with Josh Carver to his outside in fourth. Then Brady Floyd, Dean Qualley, Mike Rentz, Tyler Aspinall. And we've got the 68 of Dustin Buck, which is, again, a few laps down. Still out there trying to gain a couple positions. Pace car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Joe Wright leads them to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Great jump from Joe here. Josh Carver changes lanes before the start-finish line. I don't know if that's a rule in this league, but he was able to sneak down in front of Brady Floyd. Two of them are trying to work here on Joe Wright, as here comes Jimmy Green looking down to the inside of Joe Wright. And Joe stuck on that high side with no help. He's going to lose quite a few positions as they make their way down the front stretch. Jimmy Green to the lead. Here comes Brady Floyd up to the high side, trying to make something happen here. Side by side with Josh Carver. Here comes Joe Wright, trying to give the 20 a little bit of a push here down the backstretch. A little block here from the 3 of Carver. Joe Wright to the outside of Floyd now. Joe is going to tuck back in line in front of Dean Qualley. Joe was looking to make a move down to the inside, but just was not able to do it. That's not going to allow Dean to get down to the inside here. Joe shoved up out of line. He's going to lose 2 positions to Dean Qualley and Tyler Aspinall as they make their way down the backstretch. We have under 20 laps to go here at Kansas to decide who's going to battle it out at Vegas next week for the championship. Jimmy Green continues to lead. Josh Carver, we've seen this all night. Those 2 cars running up front, pulling away from Brady Floyd in third. Here comes Dean Qualley, though, trying to give Floyd a little bit of a push here to get them back up towards the front. As Joe Wright is stuck in a position where he's just falling backwards. He's got no help. Nobody to work with him. Here goes Mike Rentz on by. Stoney Benfield trying to get around as well. Joe's going to tuck down in front of Stoney. Give a big push to Mike Rentz down the front stretch. See if Joe can make one last attempt. Try to get up into the podium here tonight. Joe Wright in that Josh Yall machine, just not able to get anything going here. So he's going to work down to the apron. He's going to tuck in back behind Tyler Aspinall, but just not able to happen. Here's Tyler Aspinall looking out to the outside of Mike Rentz as they're going to be side by side down the backstretch. Here comes Joe trying to help Tyler here. Stoney working down on the bottom trying to help Mike. Up front, Brady Floyd and Dean Qualley have been working together, and they're catching back up to our leaders here. Derek Chaput says, let's go, Larry, in the chat. Fortunately, Larry is not in this race here tonight, or else he would be leading the field by at least 3 laps. As Joe right now 3 wide with the lap car and Tyler Aspinall. They almost make contact. Joe has to back way out of it. Going to kill all his momentum as they come off of turn number 2. So Joe not being in the position he wanted to be and falling back. Brady Floyd now is there. Him and Dean Qualley have made their way up to the leaders. Now the question is, can they get a good enough run to get by? See a little bit of damage to the right rear of that 20 car, but he's able to keep moving forward here. With Dean Qualley right there on his back bumper giving him the shove. And they are now officially there right on the back bumper of Joshua Carver. And wasted no time looking up to the high side, trying to get the run. Not quite able to get there just yet as they work off a turn number 3. And Floyd using a little bit of a side draft here to get alongside the 3 of Josh Carver. Here comes Dean Qualley trying to follow on through as well. Now Floyd, your points leader, trying to get himself back up into the top 3 here, into the podium, trying to make something happen behind all this. A huge race going on here. Everybody trying to gain some points. Joe Wright stuck back in 8th, trying to move himself forward. Trying to gain some points here for next week at Las Vegas. Dean Qualley now looking to get around Carver. Oh, Carver turns Qualley up into the wall. Yellow flag is out. With 10 to go, we have a yellow flag, and that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. we see what transpired between Joshua Carver and Dean Qualley here. See if we can see get a good view of this here. See Josh Carver trying to get a little bit of a side draft on the 17. The 17 did catch the apron just a little bit, but the two of them make hard contact and into the outside wall for both Dean Qualley and Joshua Carver. Hard impact for the 3 machine. I know Carver was involved in one earlier today. We know he didn't have any resets left, so that is going to do it for the 3 tonight. And that's going to change everything yet again. That's going to tighten up the field and allow for some drivers to take some gambles here as we see Joe Wright, Mike Rentz, Joe Wright, Dave Wright, Austin Blaylock, all these drivers coming down on the pit road. Yes, Shabu, that is me leaning up against a caribou if you're curious what that picture on the side of Joe's car is. As Joe Wright comes down, hits his pit stall. Eddie Morris coming down to his pit stall as well. Austin Blaylock. Dave Wright. So a lot of banged up cars you can see out there tonight as Dave Wright is down away. Joe Wright off of pit road as well. But Jimmy Green, Brady Floyd, Stoney Benfield, and Tyler Aspinall, your top 4, staying out on track. Mike Rentz was your first car off of pit road. With just a 5-second pit stop, so I think Rentz only took fuel. He did pit a little earlier than everybody else, so he might have been a little low on fuel. Joe Wright taking tires. Dave Wright taking tires and a little bit of damage fixed. That's also given an opportunity for drivers like Austin Blaylock and Eddie Morris to get a little more damage repaired on those machines as well. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's going to be any repairing the 3 of Joshua Carver. So he's still on pit road. A tough break for that driver, who had such a great run. Him and Jimmy Green really controlled this race, led most of the laps, those two. And it ends the day early for Carver, as we're going to have about 5 laps to go when the green flag flies again. We'll have to see how these tires work out for these drivers in the back as well. So we did see tires, even though they were only a couple laps newer, really played dividends earlier in the race. And I'm sure drivers like Joe Wright and Mike Rentz saw that earlier and are going to try to capitalize on that themselves. So lights on the pace car are off. Jimmy Green is going to take the inside lane, putting Brady Floyd, our points leader, up on the high side. Then Tyler Aspinall in 4th, Stoney Benfield down in 3rd. That's your 2nd row. And Mike Rentz and Joe Wright, your 3rd row. Dave Wright and Austin Blaylock back in the 4th row. Eddie Moore is still on pit road, getting some more damage fixed. I think Eddie's just realized that he's probably not going to get much damage fixed. And is just going to stay in pit road, try to get as much fixed as he can without losing any positions. He can't lose any more positions. The car is on track. Here we go. Jimmy Green's going to lead him back down to the restart zone with just 5 laps to go. Pace car is in. Jimmy Green hits the gas. We are back racing here at Kansas with just 5 laps to go. And a big jump for the 25 as Brady Floyd has the 75. Stoney Benfield all over his door as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Tyler Aspinall trying to give Stoney the big push forward. You see Brady Floyd be aggressive with the side draft earlier in the race. Here comes Joe Wright, though, giving Aspinall the big push. They're 3 wide down the backstretch into turn number 3. Can Joe Wright stick it in there down on the bottom? And he does. Stoney Benfield pushes up the track in front of Brady Floyd. Here comes Joe Wright, though, trying to take 3rd place away from Brady Floyd. Actually, that'd be 4th place. Excuse me. Tyler Aspinall moving up into the 2nd position. Here comes Stoney Benfield, though, fighting back on the outside of Aspinall. And Brady Floyd right here as well, trying to get something going while this battle is happening. Oh, Tyler Aspinall gets a big bump from Joe Wright. Sets him a little loose there. Upsets that car, and he falls back. But as these guys were all battling, it's allowed Jimmy Green just to start to pull away. They are still side by side for 2nd place. 3 laps to go here at Kansas. And Brady Floyd's going to pull up in front of Stoney, but Stoney's going to look back down to the inside. Stoney turns him. Brady Floyd hard into the outside wall. Caution is back out. Very similar to an incident that Brady Floyd had earlier. This time he's on the receiving end. It's almost the same thing. And it's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened to Brady Floyd here. As he was to the outside of Stoney Benfield, and yeah, Benfield was holding his line. Brady Floyd just kind of came down a little bit. Looks like Joe Wright able to avoid contact, but Floyd hard up into the outside wall. Then Mike Rentz getting a windshield full of that 20. Tough break for the 20 car. Let's actually see if we can take a, I was going to take a look from Joe Wright there. But looks like not going to be able to. Let's try this again. There we go. It looks like Joe was able to avoid the incident there. It happened so fast, right in front of him. Able to get right through it. So we're going to have ourselves a green-white checker here. Jimmy Green, Joe Wright going to be on the outside this time. Stoney Benfield and Tyler Aspinall in the 2nd row. Again, if you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. This is the Extreme Forces Racing League playoff race number 2 as we get set for our battle in Las Vegas next week for the championship. Brady Floyd coming in was your points leader. Joe Wright was sitting in 2nd. And now Brady Floyd taking a big hit, getting caught up in a wreck here. He's still currently on pit road. I think his night will be over with the amount of damage that car has sustained. Joe Wright, though, after getting caught up in one early, able to avoid a couple more and seeing himself up into the second position. As the lights will be shutting off on the pace car this time. We'll be going back green flag racing. So here we go. Re-racking, restacking, getting ready to refire here. Jimmy Green is going to be your leader. Coming to the line on the inside. Joe Wright
to where?
On the outside. It's Tony Benfield restarting in third. Tyler Aspinall fourth. Austin Blaylock, Dave Wright make up row number 3. Eddie Morris and Mike Rentz out in row number 4. Eddie Morris back up into the 7th position, so able to get that car fixed up enough to try to make a little run at it, try to get himself up into the top 5. Siri decided it just wanted to listen to me. Well, that's all it was right there. As Jimmy Green leads him back to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're back racing. And a great jump from Jimmy Green over Joe Wright. But Joe's got some help behind him from Tyler Aspinall up on that high lane as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. And Joe up on the high side with the run, trying to take the lead back away. Just not able to get the run going. Here comes Tony Benfield, though. Oh, Joe gets into the back of Green, turns him around, comes back across the track. Final lap, caution is out, though. White flag did not fly before the yellow came out, so it's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see what happened there. See Joe getting a good run here off the corner. And just barely getting into the back bumper of the 25. Then the 25 tries to correct it. Stony Benfield just barely misses it. Tyler Aspinall does a good job avoiding it as well. The rest of the field comes on through. So Stony Benfield will be your leader here. Joe got him with the griff dozer. That he did. That he did. As the field is waiting for the pace car to catch up. Griff, just because you're here, I guess I could put this one up for you. Just for you. That's a If You Know, You Know. A little tribute to the original Rebels right there. Stony Benfield still waiting for the pace car. Looks like the pace car is just in at the exit of pit road. Stony is just in turn number 2, so looks like we're just about caught back up here. Griff, you're welcome. Anytime I can put that up, the Griff Dozer up there, I will definitely take that opportunity. Again, it was an awesome season, again, in the original Rebels season. So it looks like Joe Wright is getting an EOL penalty for the contact made with the 25. Again, no original Rebels Racing League races this week as they're taking Friday off for the holiday. Saturday, Send It Cup Series has ended. Sunday's truck doubleheader will return the first week of January. I believe it's January 9th. Don't fear, we'll have some racing tomorrow night as the Mayhem Modifieds will go off at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the SCSRA is taking a week off again for the holiday. So, and again, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us here tonight. And from all of us here at Intensity Broadcasting, we want to wish everybody a happy, safe, and healthy holiday season. And Thanksgiving to yours and your family. As the holiday seasons are kicking off this week with Thanksgiving, and no matter which ones you celebrate, it's just nice to be back with our families and enjoying what we can, spending time with those we love. But enough of the sappy stuff. We're going to get back racing here for another attempt at a green-white checker with Stony Benfield down on the bottom. Austin Blaylock now is outside, and Tyler Aspinall and Eddie Morris. I was saying Eddie trying to get a top 5. He's moved himself up into the 4th position. Then Mike Rentz and Dave Wright in row number 3. Again, Joe Wright moving all the way to the back, but we know he's got some fresh tires here, but he's going to be able to do anything in 3 laps. The pace car pulls off of pit road. We are back racing here at Kansas. A great jump for Stony Benfield. He makes his way towards turn number 1. Tyler Aspinall, though, under fire from Austin Blaylock on the high side. A lot of damaged cars up at the front of the field here. That might be an advantage here for Joe Wright hanging back in the back. He's pushing that 25, trying to get those two back up to the front as Stony Benfield comes off of turn number 4. They're going to see the white flag in the air this time by. There it is, white flag is in the air. Joe Wright in the middle, 3 wide, trying to make something happen here as they come into turns 1 and 2. Move Joe all the way up into the 7th position already as he's continuing to try to make something happen. Tyler Aspinall, though, trying to get the work done here on Stony Benfield as they come down the backstretch for the final time. Stony takes the defensive line into turns 3 and 4. That's going to allow Benfield. Oh, they're wrecking behind. Joe Wright got caught up in something behind, but it doesn't matter as Stony Benfield is going to win here at Kansas. Tyler Aspinall coming home 2nd. Eddie Morris coming back in 3rd as they all wreck after the checker flag has flown. But Stony Benfield with the win, and let's take a look to see what happened behind him coming to the green flag as we see Joe working that high lane right there. And I don't know if something broke in the 25 or if he got loose or what happened there. It's tough to say. It looks like he might have got a little loose and came up into Joe. But right now, all that matters is Stony Benfield burning it down on the front stretch. So congratulations to Stoney with the win. As we take a look at the rest of the results. Stoney Benfield the win, Tyler Aswell, Eddie Morris your top three, Austin Blaylock brings it home in fourth, and Dave Wright with a top five finish. Sixth will be Mike Rentz, then Joe Wright, Jimmy Green, Brady Floyd, and Dustin Buck your top 10. Then Dean Qualley, Josh Carver, Rob Hamilton, and Logan Rhodes round out the field. As Stoney continues to celebrate here on the front stretch, we'll get a word with a couple of our top three finishers here as we wait for our third place finisher Eddie Morris to join the booth. While we wait for our top three to join us in the waiting room here, again, we want to congratulate Stoney Benfield on the win. I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Just waiting for these guys to come on down. There is Eddie Morris. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, brother. How's it going?
Man, great run tonight. I know it wasn't really the race you were hoping for, but got a great finish out of it as well. Coming home in third, I know you got caught up in quite a bit of action there tonight, but it must feel pretty good just to get that third place finish with all that attrition out there.
Man, I don't even know where to start, brother. Like, that was crazy. That was crazy. Positive note, we got one more race left, and see where we end up, I guess. So it's not my race in a nutshell. There, it's the season's almost over, and looking forward to racing some more whenever the season's done. And yeah, this race was something, man. It a lot of action. I had a pretty decent green flag run there for a minute, and it was pretty fun. I got caught up in another mess, which I'm still going to go back and look, so I'm not going to say anything on that. It's just frustrating. I ended up having to use my fast repair because I didn't take tires on that first pit stop, and I slid up and hit the wall. And after having that long green flag run, I figured, I don't have time to fix whatever 20, 30 seconds of optional damage. So I figured, the race would have stayed green, and I used the fast repair, and man, that was definitely a mistake. So, but salvage the day. It was an interesting race. That's all I'm saying.
It seemed like out there was quite a bit of tempers flaring there as well. Is that? Can you confirm that there was some hot heads out there tonight?
I can definitely confirm that. Yeah, it's yeah, definitely. And I tip my hat to those people that actually do race control and finish towards the front. Man, they're trying to clear black flags and stuff like that. I lost a lot of positions trying to mess with that, and it's just frustrating, man. But like I said, we got one more week, so.
I hear. Well, before we let you go, Eddie, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Man, shout out to Intensity Broadcasting, the best broadcasters in the business. Shout out to everybody that lets me do this. Morris Customs, they rocked that paint tonight that I had, and it looks pretty good, I say. Shout out to Coctagon Camping. We're gonna take I guess we're off tomorrow, so I don't know. Maybe they'll do something, a race or something. I don't know. We'll find something to get into tomorrow. In the Coctagon Camping Xfinity ride. So, but yeah, man, that's it.
All right, man. Well, again, congrats on the third place finish, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, thanks, brother.
So you have your third place finisher, Eddie Morris. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Tyler Aspinall. Tyler, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, I do.
Man, great run coming back to second. I saw that long green flag run. You're able to pull up to the leaders, and then once you caught them, they pulled back away from you. Were you kind of in a little bit of fuel conservation mode, or did they just have something better that you just didn't have tonight?
They had tire conservation, which is what I didn't have. I have my steering pinion set on the maximum, but I don't know. It's just since like last week, like I've always run the maximum steering pinion, and it's always kind of worked out for me. But starting last week, it's like my tires are going off like I'm running a freaking 40 millimeter for Revolution. So I don't know. That's just setup wise. They had a lot more long run speed, and on top of that, that was a wall magnet tonight. So I'm honestly just surprised I finished in the top 5, let alone second place.
That's for sure. It seemed like the battle of attrition out there is you're able to avoid most of the incidents out there. I know you were involved in one of them, but were able to come back with the second place finish. So that's got to feel pretty good as we come to the last race of the season next week.
Yeah, I actually did my math. I think I might be somewhere in the top 3, so hopefully we'll be in it for a shot next week at Las Vegas.
Awesome, man. Well, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank? Any shout out you got to give here tonight?
Grammy, other Grammy, Andy, Aunt Sherry, Mom, Jeff, Uncle Travis, and anybody else who's watching and supporting me. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, again, congratulations on the second place finish, and good luck as the season wraps up next week.
All right, thank you.
And finally, let's bring in your winner tonight, Stoney Benfield. Stoney, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I sure do, Josh. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing well. Not as good as you, though. Getting the win here tonight. That's got to feel pretty good at a race that was such a battle of attrition here tonight.
Oh yeah, man, it was a tough battle to get back up front after I got caught up in that wreck. And anyway, I'm grateful to be here.
For sure. And it seemed like tire conservation was kind of the key tonight. You had the oldest tires out on track and were able to come home with the win. How were you able to hold off everybody on those older tires?
Well, I just really played with the throttle in the corners, and it really just it worked out good. You know, I got in that wreck and got a lap down. Actually, I think I got 2 laps down, and I decided to pit early and take my last set of tires on lap 62, I think it was. And so, yeah, I did have old tires and just tried to run the middle groove when I could. And when I'd catch those guys, I could go down below, and my car really just would come off the corner just super fast.
For sure. We saw that speed tonight as you get the win here at Kansas. So congratulations yet again. Anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give tonight here, Stoney, before we let you go?
Yeah, I do. Josh, I'd like to thank 811 Call Before You Dig. And you probably saw it on my car. They're my sponsor, and they help me out a lot. And then also, I don't know if many people know this or not, but I'm a pastor, and a lot of people call me the Faster Pastor. So I want to thank first and foremost my Lord Jesus Christ, which is my Savior in my life, and just a privilege to be able to race with these guys. I really enjoyed it tonight. Thank you so much for the interview.
Absolutely, Stoney. It was a pleasure as always. Have yourself a happy Thanksgiving. It's going to be a lot better now that you got the win. And hopefully we'll see you next week, and maybe we'll talk to you again.
Okay, Josh. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
So there you have it. Your winner tonight, Stoney Benfield, here in the Josh Y'all 100 here at Kansas Speedway. Again, thanks for joining us here tonight. Don't forget, if you haven't already, to like, follow, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, Intensity Broad 1. You can find us here 7 nights a week, although we do have a couple of leagues taking some off-seasons stuff through the holidays. So Saturdays and Sundays, you will not see any racing till the beginning of January. Through the holidays here, through Thanksgiving, you won't see any racing tomorrow night. Actually, you see the Mayhem Modifieds, but you won't see the SCSRA, Thunderstruck, or the Xfinity Series. But we'll be back at it Monday night for the finale of the Extreme Forces Racing League Monday Night Mayhem. So you're not gonna want to miss that one. Then our regularly scheduled program following that. So again, thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. And as always, have yourself a happy Thanksgiving. And as always, as our boy Atliat Man Luis would say, over and out.